I'm Dr. Samus from the ICU. Welcome to the UnGala on behalf of the entire ICU team. A little bit later tonight, you will hear how you can help us with generous donations so we can continue our work of saving lives here in our community and keeping our hospital strong.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Steve Cook, Executive Director at the Belleville General Hospital Foundation. Welcome to our first ever virtual UnGala, a brand new concept for us, and we're grateful and excited to have you here with us this evening. I've been a Belleville resident now myself about 2.5 years, and in that time I've had the privilege to work with many of you on projects in and around the hospital. Many of you will be aware that the traditional annual gala forms a large part of what we do here at the foundation, underpinning a large portion of our fundraising efforts for Quinney Healthcare. Last year we celebrated our 20th anniversary gala, which was a phenomenal event with many fond memories for all of us, raising just over $586,000. This actually accounted for just over 1/3 of our total equipment purchases for BGH back in 2019. Fast forward to 2020 and today's events probably seem a far cry to what we're used to. Today's circumstances are a surreal experience for many, us each experiencing our own financial uncertainty, social isolation and fears for the future. I think the one thing though that we can all agree on or all hope for is a strong healthcare system right on our doorstep, and that's what we're here to help happen here this evening. So tonight, with that being said, we're dipping our toe in the water and we're here to try something a little bit different to make up for some of that lost fundraising revenue that was compromised earlier on in the year due to the COVID-19 pandemic. There's some great opportunities for you to hear directly from the doctors and nurses themselves working on the front line on behalf of the community, and you'll also hear from a number of our stakeholders, board members, community members and patients who'll be detailing their own experiences of working with the foundation. So with that being said, I hope perhaps you might consider making a contribution tonight. I hope that you'll feel inspired, and I hope that you'll continue to support the work that we do on behalf of the region. So if I had a glass, I'd be raising it for you all. Keep taking care of yourselves, have a fantastic Christmas, and please support us here tonight.
Well, thank you, Steve, and welcome everybody to Belleville General Hospital Foundation's first, and hopefully only, UnGala. I'm Mark Philbin of 95.5 Hits FM, and apparently the quarantine 15 has had its effect, I've just noticed. But we're going to push through all of that. Let's talk about the one thing first. I'm going to assure you that throughout the night, we're going to totally follow all COVID-19 protocols here in the hospital, of course. There is nobody within 6 feet of me. You're going to be seeing videos behind the scenes. These were all filmed with COVID-19 protocols in mind. Even some of the simulations you're going to see are done in zero pressure rooms where it would be impossible for any of the viruses to be transmitted. So we assure you that everything you're going to see throughout the night, because it's the hospital, of course, is going to be with the protocols in place. Now, we have had so much fun planning this. As you know, the galas have always been a lot of fun, and I've always enjoyed being a part of it as not only a board member of the foundation, but when we do what we call Fund a Need. And that's why we're here tonight. We're raising money as a community for the hospital. And why? Say it with me, I say it all the time, because donors pay for the equipment, the government doesn't. And that's why 3 really important businesses have stepped up to be our sponsors tonight. Past chair, Ross McDougall and McDougall Insurance, a title sponsor. Sam Brady and Ian Clark of CIBC Wood Gundy, Brady Clark Advisory Group are also sponsors. They've always been instrumental in helping with the shepherding of the money and investing. And Peter Knutson, who was a president for 2 years while I was on the board of K. Knutson Construction. 3 very important organizations in the community stepping up. And why? Well, because they want to provide excellent leadership and encourage you to do the same. but you don't have to trust me. You'll get a chance to hear from them later on. The last time we had a gala was about 15 months ago, and it was Academy Award winning. It was a night at the Oscars. Were you there? Let's relive it. That was a lot of fun. And if we had known that that was going to be the last one for a while, it really was a way. It was the 20th annual. It was such a special night. And who walked away with the biggest Oscar? Well, you did. As the best leading and supporting community, $586,000 was raised for crucial healthcare equipment right here at Belleville General Hospital. But we can't have a live gala, so we're having this UnGala. And tonight, you are at this UnGala, and you are going to play a very important part. Throughout the night, I'm going to tell you how you can become your own hospital hero, or as the foundation likes to call it, a Christmas angel. If you received your mail, you know all about it. The most important piece on the screen right now is right down here. There's a little button there that says donate. If you haven't registered yet, register for yourself as being here and your credit card so that when you make your donations, don't worry, a separate screen will prop up. We won't go anywhere. We'll be underneath. You might miss me, but you'll still be able to hear me. Make sure you're registered so that you can get those donations in, and you'll want to. Why? Because this is one of, I don't know, 80 or 90 silent auction items, which are available for bidding until about 9 o'clock tonight. And then that's going to be it. You'll be able to see where the bids are at, and you'll also see a bit of a sideways thermometer to show how much money we've raised and that $150,000 donation. And once again, that looks like that's the end. I never count those as a ceiling. That's a floor. And I'm going to tell you why $150,000 isn't just some arbitrary figure. It goes to buy some very necessary equipment that we want to purchase by the time we're done at 8 o'clock tonight. So this is one of the items. There are many more. There are also some exclusive premium packages. Mount Tremblant getaways, staycations, things like snowblowers, that Louis Vuitton bag that's going to be a wrestling match by the time it's done. You're going to find all of those online, but you've got to be able to register with your credit card to get those bids in. So go away for a little while, listen with your ears, but type that in because that's a very important part of what tonight is. So that's going to be going on. Also, we're going to hear some very important people. Our CEO, Mary Claire Egbert, is going to offer some congratulations and greetings from one of the biggest donors throughout the years, which is the city of Belleville itself. As a matter of fact, you may not be aware that the emergency ward has actually been named for the city of Belleville for the amount of money that city councils over the years, on behalf of its citizens, have donated to the Belleville General Hospital Foundation. Mayor Mitch Panchek is going to be on the show. We talked a little bit about behind the scenes. We're going to go to the intensive care unit because the buzzword equipment of 2020, respirators. That's what we're going to be raising money for tonight, respirators. So we're going to hear from Olivia Patton. We're going to hear from Sarah Marion. We're going to hear from Emma Holmes DeMille, who are frontline workers in the ICU, to tell you why your donations are so vital and so well used at this hospital. Now, before we do that, though, we want to check out all kinds of these items and get a chance to hear all of these people. The most important person for us is a volunteer position, and that is those of the board members who shepherd your dollars on a volunteer basis when you make your donations to make sure they use it the right place. So Let me take this time to point to the big chair, the board chair of the Foundation Advisory Committee, Mike Pretzel.
It's my pleasure to welcome you all online here as we host our first UnGala. Our vision for Quinte Healthcare, Belleville General Hospital, is exemplary local care that is seamless, compassionate, and effective. Throughout our 41-year history, the unwavering and generous support of the community has helped us transform the shape of BGH as we know it today. Your support tonight allows equipment to be signed off and purchased by the board as planned in a year of uncertainties that has threatened to undermine our efforts to provide leading-edge technology and the best patient care. In 2019, your support allowed us to raise over $3.4 million to fund equipment across 8 areas of care. Your gifts this past year have helped us purchase tools and renovated facilities that healthcare teams count on every day to treat each and every one of us. Along with physicians, surgeons, and nurses, in your own way, you are helping to save lives too. The impact of what we do here tonight will be felt well into the future. Whether we utilize the funds raised to buy more ventilators for expanding ICU here in Belleville, or improve our ability to diagnose cancer in its earlier stages, you can be sure that you are making a difference. We know that the pandemic has brought its own challenges in terms of funding for healthcare right across the province. But what many don't realize is that as our community grows, as does the pressure exerted on the healthcare system. In 2019, the number of patients cared for at QHC hospitals rose by 22,000 compared to 4 years previously. We know that our area is desirable for both cottagers visiting Prince Edward County and to those seeking retirement. Consequently, our region has a mature age profile with more than 23% of the population age 65 and older, a figure expected to grow to 30% by 2026. Last year alone, over 191,900 patients received care right here at BGH. Our amazing healthcare professionals performed over 12,500 surgeries. We delivered over 1,400 babies and performed over 93,000 diagnostic exams. This level of care, unfortunately, doesn't come cheap. And so I'm asking you all to please dig deep tonight and help us serve our patients. Before I hand it back over to Mark, I just wanted to pay tribute to our media partners who have supported tonight's events. So a special thank you goes to Quinte News, Rock 107, CJBQ Radio, Mix 97, InQuinte.ca, 95.5 Hits FM, Cool 100.1 Radio, and The Intelligencer. Thank you all again for your ongoing support. Back over to you, Mark.
Thank you, Mike. You know what? He really hits the nail on the head. Community is what it's all about. Again, the board, their volunteer community members, and the community donors pay for the equipment. That's why this relationship is so important. Now, unlike my radio show where I still can't see you, you at least get a chance to see me. We love to see, where are you tonight? Get interactive, get on the chat. Let us know where you're from and how much you enjoy your donations and experience with the Belleville General Hospital. We love to be able to get a feel and because that's what the gala is all about. We normally enjoy that. And as Mike mentioned, for 41 years, this foundation has been the important fundraising arm for the Belleville General Hospital. And for the last 11 years, our CEO and president has been Mary Claire Egbert. She offers her congratulations and a happy holiday season to all of you. She's here with us tonight as well.
Hi, I'm Mary Claire Egbert, President and CEO of Quinte Healthcare, and I want to welcome all of you to the UnGala night for Belleville General Hospital Foundation. This is very strange times, and I'm really thrilled that the foundation has been able to do something quite unique and still a little bit bring us together. We might not be physically together, but we all know that we're here to try and make a difference for the patients in our community. And I thank you all for finding the time in your evening to give some time to the Belleville General Hospital. Many patients come from all over to get care at Belleville General Hospital. You might be a Quinte West patient or a Quinte West citizen. You might be living in Prince Edward County. You might be living in North Hastings or Bancroft, but if you need specialized care, particularly with things like ICU or oncology or maternal child services or very serious inpatient surgery, we're going to be having you come to Belleville General Hospital for your care, and we're going to ensure that we look after everybody the very best way that we can. So it is really great having everybody here tonight because it's so important, the partnership that Belleville General Hospital Foundation has with Quinte Healthcare Belleville General Hospital. We work together to ensure that we're providing the very best care for our patients and that we have the equipment and the facilities in order to be able to do that. And of course, we have very challenging times with COVID right now, and we've had to make some last minute changes in order to be able to be prepared to safely look after our patients and our community. We also are in the middle of building a new ICU, which is critical for the patients that we hope that we may not have to deal with COVID. But as you know, our very sick patients will require an ICU bed, and that's one of the many projects that the Belleville General Hospital Foundation is helping us with right now in order to be able to fund and to make sure we can keep all of our patients and our loved ones safe. So we here in the Belleville and the Quinte region have been very lucky through COVID to date. We have had very few cases, and we've had very few patients that we've had to look after in our hospitals. Of course, we have to do the planning and the preparation because we don't know when we could have a lot of patients coming here. We're well into the second wave now, and we have been able to enjoy a certain amount of still being in a bubble for a period of time. Unfortunately, we are starting to see cases increase in our community, and we are starting to see outbreaks in workplaces. It's very important that we all look after ourselves, but we also have to be aware people are going to get sick in our community. People are going to need the hospital care. And we want to ensure that if you're getting care in the intensive care unit with our specialists and with our very specialized staff who are going to look after you, we need to make sure that they have all the tools and the equipment so that they can be giving that latest best evidence care. We've learned a lot about COVID since we've been in this for 10 months. And now our physicians can tell us exactly what it is they require us to buy so that they can give the best care. We have to make sure we have the right personal protective equipment to protect our staff. And we have to, because it's very important that we keep our staff healthy so that they can keep looking after patients. And we also want to make sure that as we have anyone come into the hospital to visit those very sick patients in intensive care, that we're taking care of you as well. So please, please help us. We want to make sure that we're ready for this second wave of COVID and any others that are going to come. It's still a while away before a vaccine is going to have reached enough of us that we can feel somewhat safer in our communities. Right now, our healthcare providers and all of our staff are still doing those preparations so that if and when we have a real push in the COVID cases, we will have the equipment and the facilities to be able to take care of you. Well, I imagine that many of you know that I am actually retiring. I've had about a 30-year career in healthcare and a career in private enterprise prior to that, but it's time for me to spend a bit more time with my family, and I am really looking forward to that. But I will tell you that my almost 11 years here at Quinte Healthcare have been so special and have made such a difference for me as an individual. And coming to this community and feeling so welcomed and knowing that I was going to be able to help the community, this has all been just so wonderful for me. And it's been wonderful to see this hospital grow and expand, and how much our staff are all about now wanting to improve and always do things better. We've achieved 2 exemplary accreditations back to back, which help and demonstrate to the community the high quality of care that we provide. So as I leave on my retirement, I'm very proud of what we've accomplished here at all of our QHC hospitals. I'm very proud of the work that our management team, our board, our foundations, and all of our citizens and communities have done. And I know that with the new CEO who's coming after me, she's going to pick up and continue this great journey of ensuring that we, in this lovely community of Belleville and Quinte and beyond, have some of the best equipment and the best staff and the best physicians to deliver care. I'm going to turn you back to Mark, and I'm going to say, everybody, enjoy your evening, have a fun time, please bid lots. We want to have a great, successful UnGala. And again, thank you from the bottom of my heart for the support you provide to our hospitals. You, each of you, in your own way, are making a difference in the lives of your friends and your family. And for that, I will be forever grateful.
And Mary Claire, thank you very much for your dedication over the past 11 years. And on behalf of the community, you've enjoyed your retirement, and we wish you all the best. And we know that the hospital is going to be in great hands as we move forward. We've talked a lot about how the community involvement is so important in the fundraising and in the operation of the foundation. And the city of Belleville itself has been one of its largest donors. And so on behalf of City Council, we're honored tonight to have His Worship, Mayor Mitch Panchak.
Hi, everybody. It's Mitch Panchak here, Mayor of the City of Belleville, and it is so great to be joining you all tonight for this very special broadcast on behalf of the Belleville General Hospital Foundation. Welcome to everyone. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays from all of us at Belleville City Council as we join you in the build-up to the festive season here in Belleville. As a city, I look back to March and the beginning of this pandemic, and I am so proud of how all of us have come together as a community to tackle the challenges of COVID-19 and what they've brought to us. While cases around the province of Ontario continue to rise, we continue to cope really well here in our region. One of the things I want to note is the importance of the basic hygiene that we've talked about throughout this whole pandemic. Wash your hands, maintain social distancing, and if you cannot maintain social distancing or if you're inside, to wear a mask. We are so lucky to be in a place that has such a strong system of healthcare and the infrastructure of health services in place to deal with those additional demands that COVID-19 has brought to us. So one of the things I want to stress tonight is the importance of preparation and keeping our hospitals strong in times of need. Our commitment as a city council and as a city to superior healthcare is not something that's just brand new. It's been evident throughout our time and through our own pledges of financial support each year. And we ask everyone in the community to join us in our shared vision of compassionate care, advanced medicine, and that it's close to home. This has fundamentally been a goal of the Quinte Healthcare Corporation across all of our municipalities. And while advocacy for better healthcare has been championed in recent years, the hospital foundations need your help now more than ever as donors are necessary. I've spoken in recent weeks about the importance of working together to support our businesses and our residents throughout this crisis. And tonight presents another opportunity for us to unite together and to work towards this common goal of better healthcare in our region. The past 5 years, the City of Belleville has stepped up and demonstrated by investing heavily in healthcare to help ensure the Belleville General Hospital Foundation has the resources it needs to supply equipment for our hospital. This mission is ongoing and expanding as our community grows, and I ask all of you tonight to consider joining us. Thank you for joining us this evening on this gala. It's not the same as it was last year, and I'm looking forward to us getting together in person again in the future. But please remember that your continued support is not just invaluable and appreciated, but it is necessary for the future of our community. So on behalf of all my colleagues on Belleville City Council, wish you happy holidays, and we thank you for your generosity.
Thank you, Your Worship. We really appreciate it. And the continued support of city councils down throughout the years that have gotten us to where we are and will continue to be in the future. Again, I'm Mark Philbin from 95.5 Hits FM. We are here live in the Education Center at the Belleville General Hospital Foundation for this UnGala. Thank you very much for all of your comments. I was just perusing some of them, and one of the lines jumped out tonight, and that was, "It's so wonderful to get this care close to home." And in a little while, we're going to talk about the oncology department and the support that the community has made over the years that's really going to drive that message home. But you've been donating on this button over here and on the auction items all week. And so we're going to invite Max, the medical moose, in here. Let me put my mask on and make some room. He's going to give us an update where we are. Max, how are we doing so far tonight? There we go. There's the big tote board. $54,921 is where we are by almost 7:30 tonight. Max, thank you very much. We really appreciate that. And as well as you at home who are making those donations, we've talked about the importance of the sponsorships and why people like Ross McDougall, Sam Brady and Ian Clark, and Peter Knudsen continue to not only donate, but volunteer their time and show leadership in supporting the hospital. You don't have to believe me. Let's hear it from them.
Hello everyone, this is Sam Brady and Ian Clark from the Brady Clark Advisory Group of CIBC Wagundy here in the Quinte branch. We'd like to welcome you to tonight's UnGala Gala here in 2020.
We're longtime supporters of the Belleville General Hospital Foundation, and we're happy to continue that support this year virtually. We're looking forward to the event leading up to the 16th and want to thank everybody for tuning in and looking forward to seeing everybody supporting a great cause.
I think supporting Belleville General Hospital Foundation it's an investment in our community. Our community has been growing, receiving new people into our community, and with that growth comes new demands for and on our healthcare system. So we need to support that growth, and we need to make sure that our hospital is ready for situations like we find ourselves in today, and more so for future situations that our kids are going to face. We want our community to be ready to have our kids grow up here and raise their kids here. So this is an investment in our community, just as we encourage our own clients and our own community to invest. This is a major investment that we'd encourage everyone to make.
Hi everybody, I'm Ross McDougall. Delighted to be here with you all this evening as one of the co-sponsors for the first ever UnGala for the Hospital Foundation. Traditionally, I've been a part of this. I've always supported Belleville General Hospital Foundation because it is obviously, in my mind, a tremendous cause, but this is the first time like this, and so I'm happy to be here and hope everybody will have a great UnGala evening, and hope that everybody will make the evening worthwhile by digging as deep as you can into your pockets to try and help the hospital and our foundation hit the numbers that they're looking for tonight. Thanks, and have a good evening.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us tonight. It's going to be a great night to raise some funds for the Belleville General Hospital Foundation. My name is Peter Knudsen, and I've been involved with the foundation for 10 years now. And I would say 10 years ago, when I was asked to join the board, I didn't even know the foundation existed, which I think was and remains a problem. But since joining the board and going through the steps and the chairs and being treasurer and past chair, I've come to realize just how important the foundation is. The Belleville General Hospital Foundation. We should all know in a way that the Belleville General Hospital is the regional hospital of the 4 hospitals that create Quinte Healthcare. And therefore, I would assume we could gather that the funds that are generated and needed by the regional hospital are probably greater than perhaps its 3 cousins. In my 10 years on the board, 11th year now, working with various executive directors, and Mr. Cook now, we've raised perhaps $25 to $30 million over that period of time, all on behalf of the Belleville General Hospital. And it has been a pleasure to see that money donated and a pleasure to see the community get behind their regional hospital. So I would urge all of you, as the need keeps coming and growing, as our center of excellence of the regional hospital, the needs are growing, that you would support your hospital in this time of need. And let's not forget, COVID has probably demonstrated the need for healthcare today and probably tomorrow. That will be behind us one day, but our hospital's needs will never be greater.
Right now, of course, there's a particularly important project, the ICU project that's happening, and the equipment that's needed for the ICU. I think we've all been reading stories all year long because of COVID, how ICUs are under extreme stress. And so certainly for us to have the very best state-of-the-art ICU and the very best state-of-the-art equipment in that ICU is more critical probably today than it's ever been in the past because of COVID and because of other things that are happening. It's just something that we have to have in Hastings, Prince Edward, and this is part of what our goal is over the next little while to make sure that that happens.
One of the biggest projects to be undertaken this year at the Belleville General Hospital is the expansion of the intensive care unit that's always been there, however, but has been overtaxed for many, many, many years. This is now the largest phase of the expansion that will add new beds and new capacity to the ICU, which I'm sure we can all understand is critical to the care of our community. So again, a lot of money will be spent there. A lot of money is needed to transform this ICU. Bear in mind, the province is behind this 100%, but the community itself, again, is being asked to support this among many other projects, but this being the major project for 2020 and 2021. So please think about a donation to the Belleville General Hospital Foundation with the ICU in mind. The money will be well spent.
So I just want to, in closing, say thank you for coming out. Thank you for helping our hospital. It's so important what you're doing. And I just want to say good night and have a great evening.
Regardless of how this evening turns out, it's a wonderful evening, and it's nice to be able to be before you again. And we wish you from the board Merry Christmas. We wish you a successful evening. We wish you the best of health and good tidings. Cheers.
We hope you all have a great night tonight. Let's have some fun. It's been a tough year. We all need a little bit of a break, and we all need a little bit of fun. Hopefully tonight can provide that, and we look forward to the rest of the evening spending it with you virtually. Sam, do you have any closing thoughts?
Well, there's no fun like sitting around with a bunch of dry financial advisors. So we'd like to thank you for your time and putting up with us. We are proud sponsors of tonight's event, and get out there and bid often and bid high. Over to you, Mark.
Wow, a true thank you to leaders in the community and many of the sponsors we've had over the years, but certainly to Ross, Sam and Ian and Peter for your leadership, for your donations, and for the encouragement on behalf of the community to join you at the levels of which you're able to. And that's why you're here tonight. When we get to Fund a Need, I'm going to demonstrate how we can all do something to help us get to that $150,000 goal. And if we've learned anything in 2020, of course, it's the importance of hospitals. It's the importance of healthcare. We're raising money tonight for ventilators, kind of the buzz piece of equipment in 2020, which is so important as we revitalize the intensive care unit here at Belleville General Hospital. But that doesn't mean that the rest of the hospital doesn't function as it has to as the hub of the healthcare center across the Quinte region. We've raised a lot of money for the Douglas A. McIntosh Oncology Department, and of course that still has to function for those. And I mentioned in the chat room when somebody said close to home, there was a time where if you had to battle cancer, if it was a sport, it was a road game. You had to go to Toronto, or you had to go to Kingston, or some went to the United States. Not anymore. Thanks to donors like you, we've been able to fight cancer right here at Belleville General Hospital. I want you to hear this very important story from somebody you may very well know. She's a tremendous supporter of the hospital and a guardian angel with the Children's Foundation, Kristen Crow, and Dr. Chubak on the importance you play in ensuring we can battle cancer right here at home.
Hi everyone, I'm Nagar Chubak. I'm one of the medical oncologists at the McIntosh Cancer Center. I hope you're enjoying the UnGala. And I wanted to just tell you a little bit about myself. I am a medical oncologist, as I mentioned, and I specialize in lung cancers. And I work with a group of 2 other medical oncologists here at the Cancer Center in Belleville Hospital. And we work with a fantastic group of nurses and pharmacists and pharmacy techs and take care of a large number of cancer patients in our catchment area. It is very important for us to be able to deliver this care here in Belleville, where a lot of our patients live. It is important to be able to get this care close to home and to know that it is top of the line and just as efficient and proficient as the care that's delivered in larger cities. Our patients are of different backgrounds and different socioeconomic statuses, and we are able to help and provide care for all of them. I hope that we continue to get to do that for many years to come, and your donations will help us with that. Cancer treatment has changed tremendously over the last few years, and as newer medications and treatments become available, we will need more and more donations and support to be able to replenish the Dr. Mac Fund so that we can continue to treat patients and family members of loved ones in our community. So the more support we have for this lovely fund that has supported our community for so long, the better our future will be in terms of cancer care in this area. This is an area where our patients come and have their blood work drawn. This allows us to have the results available as soon as we see them. It also saves a lot of our patients the trouble of going down to the lab or going to the outpatient labs. So it's very handy to be able to do that in our clinic every day. We are in one of our examination rooms right now, and there are several equipments in here that help us take care of our patients. This is one of our portable vital sign machines, and obviously these are very important to have in every room to allow our patients to have their vitals done as soon as they come in. We also have our portable computers that allow us to pull up patient records as we're discussing the case with the patient, and a lot of times we use them to show them their imaging and their CAT scans and their MRIs to give them a better understanding of their cancer and how the treatments are going and how they're responding to treatment. Okay, welcome to the chemotherapy infusion room. This is where the magic happens. These are the chemotherapy chairs where our patients receive their treatments in, and they enjoy a view of the outside. They have television sets, and our nurses have their station close by to help take care of them. And once they're completed their treatments, they get to ring this bell and celebrate a huge achievement. Annually, we see more than 10,000 patients either as new consultations or for treatments and follow-ups in the Cancer Center. We offer a wide variety of oncology-related treatments such as chemotherapy, immunotherapy, transfusions, as well as other supportive treatments that are offered at other larger centers. In fact, the only treatments that we don't offer here at the Cancer Center are radiation treatments. Otherwise, our Cancer Center is quite capable of administering all the treatments that our patients need, and we do that close to home and with your help. I hope you all enjoyed a visit through our Cancer Center and the information about our the level of care that we provide here. Please enjoy yourselves, enjoy the gala, and continue to give to the Belleville General Foundation, Belleville General Hospital Foundation, and know that your support goes a long way to take care of our patients.
Hi everyone, I'm Kristen Crow. I know some of you probably know me very well, and you're probably sick and tired of seeing me on these videos, but some of you may not know me. So here I am, a longtime resident of the Bay Quinte region, and more specifically Belleville, Ontario, and really happy to be at this UnGala Gala this evening to raise some hopefully big dollars for a very much needed and very important organization in our region, the Belleville General Hospital Foundation. As I reflect on what I've seen in Belleville General Hospital over the last several years, I've noticed big changes with some of the renovations and some of the spaces and a lot of the equipment, the newer equipment that has been brought in, just incredible. But let's be honest, it's not all about the equipment and it's not all about the bricks and mortar. The physicians that we've been able to draw and attract into this community, unbelievable. I personally have been under the care of Dr. Francesco Barnaby, top-notch surgeon, felt incredibly comfortable and safe under his care. Dr. Roger Levesque in oncology. These gentlemen, let's face it, they could work anywhere in the world. They're fantastic, they're professionals, they're experts at what they do, and we have been able to attract them here to our community in Belleville, Ontario. So back in 2009, following the running of my very first full marathon in Long Beach, California, I returned home to some not so great news to learn that I had breast cancer. Never in a million years did I ever expect to hear this diagnosis, but there it was. I'm facing it head on. Very quickly, I found myself in Belleville General Hospital with having some pretty major surgery, as well as a lot of time spent in the radiology department and the oncology department. Many scans, many tests, chemotherapy. Ended up going out of town for radiation treatments. However, it was a very interesting and challenging time in my life. Never, as I said, in a million years did I expect something like this to happen. And when it happens, it's like jumping on a roller coaster. Your entire life goes into chaos and everything changes. Absolutely everything changes. Moving forward to 2017, spending many years after some great care and some challenging but very great treatments, and feeling that I was, or understanding that I had been cured, my cancer returned in 2017. And it was a very devastating time and devastating news that I received at that time. Again, routine checkup based on my history, found some spots and tumors in my lung. And the hope was that if these tumors were malignant, that it would be primary lung cancer, and it ended up being breast cancer. So my breast cancer had returned, metastasis to my lung, which was, I guess, reopening my whole history, but at a much higher scale. My diagnosis today, I'm no longer curable. I'm treatable, no longer curable. And for those of you to look at me here today, you'd think, or you see me out on the streets walking around town in the city of Belleville, you would think absolutely nothing is wrong with me. And I feel the same way. I feel the same way in my mind. I feel the same way in my heart. However, I will say that it's a constant reminder as I visit Belleville General Hospital faithfully every 3 months now, and as I'm told, I'm a lifer, probably for the rest of my life, now that my cancer has metastasized. So I wish we were really at the gala on our tables and chairs dancing and having a really good time, seeing everyone in person and hugging. Everybody knows how much I love to hug. I miss those hugs from everybody and all that personal conversation. However, we're not. So if I had a glass, if I had some alcohol here, I'd be pouring it and I'd be sharing it to all of you. Please really seriously consider a donation to the Belleville General Hospital this season at this gala. During this gala, support the Hospital Foundation. There are so many people that need the care in this community. I'm one. I use it on a regular basis. I've shared that with you tonight, but please, please, please give generously. It does make a difference.
Thank you very much, Kristen. You know, I don't have to tell you the courage it takes to fight cancer, but to go public with your story as a means of encouraging other people to support the local hospital, there's a whole other level of leadership. So, Kristen, you exude that, we know, and we can't thank you enough for your support in making that video. And again, your support, we're going to ring those bells, right? And that's why we're here tonight. Specifically, though, we're going to be funding a need for the expansion of the intensive care unit, the ICU, particularly ventilators, of which one costs $50,000. We need to buy 3 because of the expansion. We have 3 more bays. And that's why you've seen the goal of $150,000. That's how it breaks down. Let's see how that money is used by talking to the real heroes on the front line in ICU.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the UnGala Gala. My name is Emma, and I'm a registered nurse here at the Belleville General Intensive Care Unit. And this is Tamara, and she's actually a Loyalist College student. And today Tamara is going to be playing the role of an ICU patient here at Belleville who will be on life support to give you guys at home a sense of what care goes into providing for an ICU level patient and some of the equipment that we use here. So I want you to imagine that Tamara here has come into the emerge department in respiratory distress. She's scared, she's panicked, and she can't breathe. So she's brought to our intensive care unit to be placed on life support. During that time, she's given powerful medications to put her to sleep, and then we place her on the ventilator. So during that time as well, we also use our IV pumps here to deliver sedation medication as well as life-sustaining drugs for her blood pressure and for her heart rate as well. These machines cost a couple of $1,000s a piece, and generally our ICU patients need anywhere from sort of 8 to 15 of these to deliver those medications. They're also hooked up to our cardiac monitors, which enable us to titrate these medications in order to keep Tamara stable. So this machine allows us to monitor heart rate, heart rhythm, all of the vital signs that we need to know about, and also can go as involved as actually monitoring brainwave functions and things like that, much more in depth. And these machines cost around $30,000, and the ICU has about 22 of them and definitely needs more. She's also hooked up to the ventilator, and this is that crucial piece of equipment that every patient in the ICU that comes in with respiratory distress requires to keep them alive. This machine allows the respiratory therapists and the entire care team to deliver set respiratory rates, oxygen levels, as well as titrating different parameters that are specific to each patient to give them the support that they need from that ventilator. So Tamara here is an example of one of the hundreds of patients that we see in the ICU on a yearly basis. These patients are getting sicker and sicker, and that's before we even throw COVID-19 into the mix of things. Oftentimes we're at full capacity in the ICU and end up having to send your loved ones outside of our area to Kingston, Toronto, Ottawa in order to get their care provided. The government has recognized this and has provided us with 4 new beds. We have the walls, we have the plumbing, we have the electricity, and what I need you to do is to be my community hero and to provide the equipment so that I can continue to save the lives of our community members. So what I need you to do tonight is to dig deep into your pockets and be as generous as you've always been, and be that community hero and donate to the Belleville General Hospital Foundation.
Thank you, Emma, not only for all you do on the front lines, for all the patients and everybody in the intensive care unit, but thank you very much for lending your time tonight to let the community know how important their role is in ensuring that we have the equipment. Because again, as we've said, donors buy the equipment, the government doesn't. So we've heard from community leaders, we've heard from hospital administrators, we've heard from the mayor, and soon we're going to hear from you. But why is it that we do this? We can encapsulate it in 60 seconds. This is why. What do we have to say? I got to let you know a little secret. I have a monitor here. I could have watched the video. I don't. Because when we do this in the gala, and I know I have to talk after that, because how many of you right now are sitting there going, exactly. That's why we do it. We as a community support our own. So I have over here this ventilator, which if I wanted to pay for it, would cost $50,000. We have the expansion of the intensive care unit. And so we have more bays that need these because we want one in absolutely every bay, right? That's why we expanded it, to have greater care in our community. We need 3 more. That's why the number of $150,000 is there. But as I mentioned to you, I always view those numbers as floors, not ceilings. We need to raise at least $150,000. And right now, it appears that we're at $56,370. And we can't thank you enough for your generosity. But this is how Fund a Need works. Straight philanthropy now for a gala. If you had to go to a gala, you would typically pay $200 a ticket, and for that you would get a meal, and you would probably get a babysitter, and the night would cost you $500 or $600. But based on that, there are costs. Well, we don't have these costs tonight. I'm not being paid. The volunteers who are here from the staff and volunteers who are putting this together are getting paid for it. We want to make sure the money goes. So everything you donate over the next couple of minutes is going to go directly to buying that one and 2 or 3 just like it for the bays in the intensive care unit. And why? Because I want you to picture something. Before we start fighting, this is what I want you to do. I want you to think about this. You're in an ambulance on your way to the hospital. And trust me, you're not the driver. You're in the back. And when you get there and the doors open at the back, and chances are, if it's intensive care, you're going to arrive in an ambulance. You're going to want to know that the equipment that's there, that you help fund tonight when that happens down the road, is exactly what you need. But there's a little problem with the way you pictured it. You're not the one in the stretcher. You're on the side holding the hand of the last person in the world that you want lying in that stretcher. What wouldn't you give in that moment to make sure that they get the best possible care they need in that moment? We need to dig the well before we're thirsty. All the money in the world can't buy them the equipment that night if it isn't there. That's why we do this tonight. And you can be a hospital hero. So with Fund a Need, what I'm going to do now is we're going to put up the leaderboard. And it says right there, as you can see, $57,486. And by the time we're done in mere minutes, and this is the magic. This is the magic that happens in the gala. If you've never been, you're going to be shocked because you're going to be a part of it. I'm going to start naming out amounts. And if you, with your means, can donate that amount, we would ask you to please to send it, because you know what's going to happen? A little window is going to pop up. And everybody on the stream tonight is going to see your donation. They're going to see your support. Just like we do at the live gala when you would raise your paddle. We know who in the room is stepping up. And it encourages the whole community to say, yes, we're all in for healthcare at Belleville General Hospital. And we always start at a very generous amount because we know that there are people of means who are very generous in our community. And we want to give them the opportunity to have their donation noted. So, if there is anybody watching tonight who has the means and would like to donate $100,000, yes, would like to, in one click on their computer, buy 2 ventilators for the Belleville General Hospital, I invite you and I encourage you to make that donation now, hit your donate button, watch your screen, because that donation may very well pop up. And I am more than happy to stand here quiet and wait to see if somebody with means who has that opportunity and is watching tonight can donate $100,000. If there is anyone watching tonight who understands the importance of the equipment we're buying and has the means, and if for whatever reason you're not able to donate online, you can call on the screen. You can see the phone number there. You can phone and make a donation over the telephone if you're more comfortable that way, or you can click on that donate button right down there once you're registered and can make a donation tonight for the purchase of one ventilator of $50,000. I encourage you to do that right now. I thank you very much for the donations that you have made throughout the week to get us to $57,500. Our goal tonight is to reach $150,000. Silent auction items will remain up and biddable until 9 o'clock, but this Fund in Need is where we really have the rubber hit the road. And so if you are able to tonight to make a donation of $25,000, I encourage you now to make that donation online or by phoning us here on the number on your screen, 961-7522, and make that donation to help us hit our goal. I would like to acknowledge a telephone donation that just came in. Ms. Fleeler, $20,000 donation, and we can't thank you enough for that. This is the type of support that we have in our community. And if you've never been to the Gala and joining us tonight and are unaware of how Fund in Need has raised hundreds of thousands of dollars, it is straight philanthropic love of community and support of the hospital that's allowed the Belleville General Hospital Foundation to be able to purchase this equipment over and over. So we thank you so much for that donation of $20,000. That gets us to $78,506. Again, if there's anybody, $25,000, I encourage you to make that donation now. Jack Gifford, a donation of $10,000 by phone. Thank you so much. Pop that one up. There it is. Jack, thank you so much. $10,000 gets us to $88,000. We'll drop it now down to $20,000. If you have the means and wish to support the Belleville General Hospital Foundation, the purchase, once again, of ventilators for the intensive care unit, I encourage you to make a $20,000 donation. I have an incredible nation I have to tell you in a second, but I'm just going to let this go. I'm a fan of the drama. Oh, Ingrid will tell you that. Here she comes. She's got more donations. I've just found out that Ross McDougall, past chair, sponsored tonight, who has already donated, has just added another $25,000 to his donation totals over the years and tonight. So that extra $25,000 is going to put a major bump into that number. So Ross, thank you very much on behalf of a very grateful community for all that you've done. John Surratt from our radio station, past board member as well, donating $1,000, encouraging other businesses to as well. Patricia Guernsey, who is a past chair, has also donated, I believe, $1,000. Thank you for that. Fran Layton just came up. Ed and Fran, Ed was a long-time board member. Is Ed still a board member? Ed can be a board member as long as Ed wants to be a board member. Long-time chair have just donated, once again, $5,000. If you are a first-time donor and have the means and would like to make a donation of $10,000, I encourage you to hit that donate button or once again phone 961-7522 and please make that donation. There's Ross's donation. Gets us up to an incredible number, so close to $150,000. And if you've never been to the Gala and you're looking at this scratching your head, this is what happens every time. And this is why, for example, I donate my time because this is what I love. This is the magic I get to be a part of. And as long as I'm living and breathing and living in Belleville, I'm never giving this gig up, ever, because this is where the real sweetness of fundraising happens. Van Easterbrook, yeah, 1,000 came up. Ryan Williams, $2,500. Thank you so much for your donation. If you're a first-time donor or would like to make a donation and you would like to do so now to the $5,000 level, we encourage you to do that online or by calling 961-7522. When you do phone in, as soon as it's registered, it'll pop up as well. We want to thank Stinson Builders there for their $1,000 donation. And why, again, do we show the names? It's because when we're at the gala, the raising of the paddle encourages everybody else, not simply to say, look at me that I'm giving. It encourages everybody to show that it is the community that raises money and purchases the equipment, the ventilators that we've talked about. We've talked about other pieces of equipment on the sidelines here. You pay for those. They will be here should you ever need them at Belleville General Hospital. And believe me, we all feel the need to tell you we want you to be safe. But a community can look after itself when we fund our hospital. We ourselves have the capacity and the power to determine how strong our hospital will be because donors pay for the equipment. And tonight, that's what it's all about. Pretzel Davies Law Office, Mike Pretzel, who's the board chair, you heard from Mike earlier, his law firm, $2,500 donation. Mike, and to all of the partners, we thank you very much for your continued support of not only your time, Mike, but also for the resources to continue to fund the equipment that we've got here. So we're up to $125,000. If this is the first time you're watching and you've had a $2,000 donation, as we just mentioned, this is the $2,000 level. Once again, we're getting to the point where a great many people can help. Yes, it may seem like a very large piece of the pie, but as we move out of 2020 and 2021, we've seen the importance of funding hospitals and having healthcare. And again, if your loved one was in that ambulance, if your loved one was being intubated or had the need for the ventilator, what wouldn't you give? Well, you say, well, of course I would have given $2,000 had I known. The important thing is that the ventilators are never one and done. They could very well be here when you need them. No doubt, a loved one or somebody you know at one point will need them. I want to thank Wilson's Flooring, an incredible donation just came in for $6,000. We are live in the Resource Education Center at Belleville General Hospital. And if I have to stay here till we get to 150, the security guards will make it difficult for me to leave, but I'll leave. That's the important part because the community is going to benefit to the tune so far of $133,000. If we get to $150,000, we will have enough ventilators for every single one of the new bays that is being done for, thank you, Rosie, that is going to be in the newly expanded intensive care unit. More bays, able to offer more care. We need the ventilators for it. Rosie, thank you for your $1,000 donation. Mark Fulford, thank you so much. A $2,000 donation as we creep closer to $140,000. So how can we get closer now? Mike and Liz Canute, thank you very much, Mike. That's great. And Liz, and all you do with helping people with their money around town. And oh, look, they're donating theirs as well, another $1,000. So now I'm going to encourage you, if you can make a $1,000 donation, 10 people who would make a $1,000 donation ensures that we have the necessary ventilators and equipment to staff and properly have the equipment for our intensive care unit. An anonymous pledge from $1,000. Thank you very much. Larry McMaster, $1,000. Thank you very much. It gets us closer to 140, pushing 141 once that updates. Again, once we get down to that, if you can make a $1,000 donation, if you would normally have gone to the gala, didn't have to buy tickets, you didn't have to go out and purchase a new suit and a dress or a costume when we had all of that fun for a night at the gala, didn't have to pay a babysitter, rent a car, could you simply give that money instead to the hospital now? All of it goes to the bottom line. All of it will be used to buy this necessary equipment. If $1,000 is unable for you, can you do $500? If we were to get 20 people to donate $500, it would be the amount of money we need to reach our goal tonight in a mere minutes. I can't thank you enough for spending the hour with us and being educated, and that is vitally, vitally important. But we're at the point now where Barb Stinson, for example, understands $500 goes a long way. Once we combine it all as a community, we will have the equipment we need to have our health care right here at home. This is why we expand our hospitals. This is why we treat our hospitals like the treasures they are, because they are ours and we fund them. It is up to us to determine how strong our hospital is. And tonight we have an opportunity to show everybody how we value our hospital. And we can all come together and give what we can. From Ross McDougall, who gave $25,000, to everybody who's donating what they can, including silent auction items. We do it as a community because when those doors open at the ICU, when the doors open at emergency, when an ambulance pulls in, there's nobody looking for a checkbook. There's nobody asking you how much money you make. That doesn't happen. We're all important Belleville citizens in need of health care. So we give what we can. Sean Patrickman, thank you for your $1,000 donation. We are just under $10,000 that we need. Tracy Bray, another great board member I spent time with. Tracy, thank you. A $1,000 donation gets us to $142. If you're watching tonight, grab your phone, text a friend. If you have a friend of means who would like to help them, tell them to get on here now so we can get to 150,000. Brian Garrard, thank you so much of Eastern Design Windows. Thank you for your longtime support. Brian's been a volunteer. If you ever wondered how those great decorations got hung so straight, Brian is the guy. The man is a measurer. The man knows what he's doing when it comes to decorations. $1,000, thank you so much. Here we are at $143,000, and you're thinking, Mark, how come you haven't run out of things to talk about? I can't, because I love this. We're raising money for health care, for the loved ones in your family, not just for you, because as I said before, look, if it was for me, I'll spin the wheel. I'll take my chance. I would hope that things would work out right. But if that was my wife, Kathy, or Stephanie or Andrew, and my kids in that ambulance, you better believe that now it gets serious. So you wouldn't do it for you. Let's do it for your loved ones. Let's do it for your neighbors. Let's do it for your grandparents. Let's do it for your coworkers. And when we have a very, very active, well-staffed hospital, guess what happens? You attract the best doctors. And when you attract the best doctors and have a great hospital, companies that want to move pick Belleville. These are the sorts of things. Schools and hospitals are things that they think of. So if we want to bring jobs to the community, you need a strong hospital. And this is why we're doing this tonight. This is why it isn't simply enough to say, well, we can't have a gala. Oh, well, I guess we'll just have to do with what we've got. That isn't what life's about, and that's not what Belleville's about. We're at $143,000. If you can make a $100 donation, and we hope because you've watched that you can, that you've seen enough behind the scenes to recognize that A, there is no such thing as a small donation. There is no such thing as an insignificant help. And there's so much more that goes on at the hospital than we're aware of. It's not simply a 48-minute television show like Grey's Anatomy, and it's not like that at all. It is really life and death, and it is the importance of having this equipment and these experts that we've attracted because we have this kind of equipment that makes it so vital that we raise this money and have these pieces of equipment. So we're just under $144,000, $143,556. Bring the star of the show back in. All right. There it is. Whoop. I'm knocking everything over. You can tell they're 6 feet. They shoved everything in front of me. And I'm going to stand behind it here like a golf cart. $150,000. It's been checked. Look at that. It's been absolutely checked. Okay. Stephanie Mormon, $10,000. So now we've hit the floor, everybody, right? We've hit the floor. And Stephanie, thank you so much. She knows drama. She knows. Come in at the end. There's the big one. Thank you so much to everybody for all of your donations. Again, it doesn't matter the amount when we're done. It doesn't matter when you come to the hospital, whether you've given money or not. It doesn't matter what you do in this community. This hospital is here for absolutely everybody. And yes, it is vitally important that we have means and influence. If we can't give any money, at least spread the word to those that you know in your community, where you work, members of the parents of your kids' hockey teams, baseball teams, that donors buy the equipment. And the stronger the hospital is in the community, the stronger the community becomes. We can attract more businesses. We attract better doctors. We simply attract and become a better community. You heard from the mayor. That's why the city gives money to promote and support Belleville General Hospital through the foundation. And that's why people like Mike Pretzel, Peter Knudsen, and of course Ross McDougall, who also made another donation, have been longtime chairs and volunteers because they recognize that if we love this community, you love your hospital. The two go together. You can't have one without the other. So I want to remind you that the auction items are going to remain up until 9 o'clock. Bid like crazy, because that's going to help this bottom floor that we had. We'd love to see if we can get higher than 154, of course. I can't thank you enough for your attention tonight. To the sponsors, certainly to you, the donors, I thank you very much, but your job isn't over yet. Do you know you can still make a donation for Fund a Need until midnight tomorrow night? So tomorrow when you go to work, or tomorrow when you're on social media, on Facebook, tell your friends that donors buy the equipment. Put the link up on your Facebook page to UnGala, bghf.com, and remind them that before midnight tomorrow night, make a donation, because you saw the most incredible thing you've ever seen happen in Belleville live on the internet. You just filled up an intensive care unit with respirators. And when the executive director, Steve, runs in the room, I know I'm about to get something. So, Sam Brady, another sponsor, another $5,000, gets us over $160,000. So again, thank you so much. Don't forget, Fund a Need continues until midnight tomorrow night. Put that up on your social pages. Tell people at work the amazing thing you saw. And once again, auction items go until 9. Yeah. There's other stuff that obviously we can also buy, like the infusion. Right. So if you got that, DJ, there, these other pieces, like, you know, nothing gets wasted. Nothing gets wasted. It's not like we don't need that money. You know, we've got these IV drips, vital. We have what they call the crash carts, vital. Like, I don't keep any of this. Like, this isn't mine. Volunteer, Mark gets a crash cart. I don't get this because I want to leave it here. But again, the one thing I want you to leave with tonight when you go is that you made the magic happen. As the hospital says, you're a Christmas angel. You're a hospital hero, because what you learned tonight, whether you're able to give money or not, is the vital piece of information that you as a donor will fund the equipment. And down the road when you're able to, we hope you will. Lots of people volunteer through the hospital. 2020 was a phenomenally bad year. But thanks to your support of the Belleville General Hospital, we're on the upswing as we get into 2021. We want to thank the well over hundreds of people who have been watching here tonight. Right now, we know there are 122 of you who have stuck around, including the gang in the county who got crazy in our chat room. Thank you for that. This was an absolutely live experience, and it will go down in fundraising history in Belleville, and you were part of it. Spread the word about the donors, bid till 9 o'clock, and don't forget Fund a Need until midnight tomorrow night. Spread the word on that so we can raise that money. On behalf of the Belleville General Hospital Foundation, volunteers, the staff, everybody at the hospital, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, and nothing but great health to you and your family in 2021. Thank you very much for your support, and good night.